Hi. Hey, how's it going? What's up? How are you? Hey. Hey, I'm an actor. Hi, I'm an actor. Hi, everybody. Talking about Kirk Douglas. Kirk Douglas. This is a canted angle. Right here. That's a canted angle in Hollywood movie talk. Huh, huh, huh. This is tilting down to a regular I guess this could be considered a regular shot. Regular shot. Anyway, a shot. That could be an anxiety term. Okay, I've got some almonds. I took a shower. I'm very clean. I know I smell very good and clean. And we're going to talk about the meaning of life. And I feel really happy knowing that all the suffering I've endured and the difficulty in life and not being some huge person at what I do or having gotten pretty big at it, that's okay enough. But just knowing that it's really about the close relationships that you have with your loved ones and yourself, your kindness to yourself. So I think I've got a pretty good balance of that going on. I may not be always around my family a lot, and I still talk to I've worked for my parents for weeks this year already, and I've gotten closer to them. I needed some time alone, away from people, when I got to this house way out in the woods. And I'd say the first many months of it, if not year, I just loved being out here and not having to work anymore. And it's because, I'm going to talk about Kirk Douglas, who passed away. He was a famous superstar, a big famous superstar. A big famous superstar who was the oldest living superstar. The oldest living superstar. I wonder what this looks like with no light on me from the tungsten light. Here's another thing. This is tungsten, regular room light bulb. a regular room light bulb. That's tungsten. And this light coming in is daylight. So that's something I learned from the movie industry stuff. And we're figuring out sort of help with the meaning of life, attaining carnal, worldly things that you think are cool and you want to do with your life. And are those things anywhere near as important as the relationships that you have, the loved ones in your life? And maybe that's all that's important, is being kind to those loved ones, somewhat kind to others, or kind to as many others as you can without going crazy. And it's really about your closest loved ones and yourself. Or for some people, they are taken away from their loved ones because they have to be kind to other loved ones that were maybe neglected, or they have to be kind to. That's what I may have had to do. I think I put wife and kids first, and then I neglected other family members and friends. Now I have to kind of be nice to them too or something. I don't know if that's it. I'm not sure. But I know that the relationships in life are very important, and you can't just try to seek a lot of money and huge things that you want to do and worldly things like getting a cool car or whatever it is, and whatever, however big or small level it is. You want to still be kind to your loved ones and have close relationships if possible, even if it's with strangers or somewhat friends and stuff, even if you're not as close to family. But I'd suggest being close to family. And we're figuring out the meaning of life, or getting insight as to the meaning of life based upon the life of Kirk Douglas. Kirk Douglas, movie actor. Sorry. Kirk Douglas, movie actor, leading man in Hollywood, who spent the remaining, well, now he remains. He is dead. He has passed on. But he spent the last 30 years of his life, after he went huge, was on top of the world, kind of not as much into his parents and the upbringing that he was raised in, which was lower income. He got away from that out of a fear that he literally said lit a fire under him to make him want to get away from that, to drive him to be bigger so that it couldn't hurt him. Nothing to do with homophobia in particular, or any particular thing that would annoy people to be big. But he became probably the number one actor in the world, or one of the best. And he did these huge things. And this is water. And this one's coffee. And he pursued had a heart attack. And I just learned that. I read a little bit before the last video, but I kind of learned as I was going the previous video. But I don't think that was my last video, because I'm making one right now, so I'm not afraid to say it. So he had a heart attack at 89. Then he was in a helicopter crash that was a near-death experience. Then he had a stroke, all in his 70s and 80, very early 80s, all in his 70s, pretty much, unless the stroke was when he was 80. And he had a scare, and thought, he's got to be a kind person. He saw things different. He could see things differently, instead of just getting huge success and getting tons of money and being the richest actor in the world and all that, hundreds of millions of dollars, however much he had at one time, or whatever, however much it was. Even if it was, he realized that was not as important as, and this may be important to me, to gain insight as to how people are doing things. And I can suggest to you that, from what I have learned and from how I see Kirk Douglas's life, to not just pursue carnal, worldly things, to be kind to others. That's what it's really about. So you don't want to sin and hurt people too much, or else you're probably going to have to make up for it later in life and stay alive and suffer until you understand, to have patience, values that you overlooked, things that you may have hurt people with will come back to you, and you'll have life lessons to learn and stuff like that, like I do, like I have had to go through. Maybe I've had to have more than some people have already learned those lessons, or Not sure as to all the answers of life's questions, or what some of those things even mean. I don't understand why I would have to learn any of them in particular. I may never have to, some of them, but some of them I have to understand. So I don't know what that's about. But Kirk Douglas, I know that you have to, I know that he spent the remaining, or he's human remains now, I understand. He spent the last 30 years of his life trying to be religiously okay and spiritually okay, because he had been so big on earth with those things that he wanted to get big at, and he had to realize, wait a second, he just had to embrace that fear. And he had a fear early on, he has said, about, in particular, he was Jewish, and he was in elementary school. He just wanted to be an actor. He knew he wanted to be an actor, he said, by high school. And he thought he might have to be a Jewish rabbi, which is almost an extreme example of the Judaism that he was raised in. So he was a Jew, and out of that fear that he'd have to be like a rabbi and all this stuff he didn't want to do, he just wanted to be an actor. So he went and pursued. He left his father and mother and went to go be a big actor, or was less close to them. And he spent his whole life being a huge actor, and then he went back to being kind again. He went back to being kind again to the things that he was raised, his parents, and standing up for the things that he was raised in, the ideals and values that he was, being kind to others, not to things. And he apparently was kind to some things, because he kept a lot of that money that he had. He didn't go down too low, but maybe he donated a lot of it to certain causes that maybe he felt guilty that he had been mean about in his life. I don't know, maybe there are other things that were more important that he was supposed to do. So I have a good balance on what I have done in life, and I realize it's not always the most fun, enjoyable time. And I feel like I've been very respectful to my parents and my children and the mother of my children, but she's on some she doesn't do any, she's not on anything, she doesn't do any drugs, I know that. As far as I know, she never did drugs, and she never drank. She used to, like 15 years ago, used to maybe have one beer once every few years, and then she stopped doing that completely. She's never tried marijuana or anything like that. Never even tried marijuana, and she's never had. And I'm pretty sure she still hasn't done any of that. Anyway, she's from a pretty good family that doesn't do that stuff. But she just doesn't, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I don't want to comment on that. Anyway, that's been a difficult thing for me, having to be without her and the kids, because that was comfortable for me, and I could act like myself. I could be myself around the kids and say funny jokes and stuff around the boys. I wouldn't do it as much around the baby now. Be more literal and not be as lewd and crude. And I'm older now, so I don't make those lewd and crude jokes anymore as much. Here and there, I kind of maybe sometimes say them out loud, but it's it's not as appropriate nowadays to say stuff like that, especially with a child who's a girl, Ronan Ivan's little sister. If she's going to be around um, in the future, so I don't know what's going to happen with that, but I'm hoping to be close to them again. And I've been kind to my relatives. I may have to go up to New York and see how they're doing, because there's only so much that I could stand. Like, but I think they're okay. I'm going to try to go up to New York and be kind to them if I have to, if it's the right thing to do, if it's good to them. But I don't think I don't really need to as much. I think I'm nicer to my parents now. I'm kinder to my parents, and I'm kinder to her, and that falls into sync with Kirk Douglas and how he was a huge guy on earth. And he put this famous stuff and all that stuff that he was doing as very important. Money, fame, in acting, stuff like that. He did huge things on earth. And then he went back to being more like he was when he was growing up as a kid, and apparently spent the last about 30 years of his life until his death yesterday on February 5th. Just being kind, and apparently he may have not had the best health and not been that leading man, good-looking actor that he was all those years. And maybe it felt okay, maybe it didn't, but he had some suffering. He was in a wheelchair most of the times that we saw him. We could see him when he was 100, when he was late 90s year old and hundreds. And he wasn't in a wheelchair in the 90s that I know of, but he did have a stroke. Did something to his face to make it look kind of more like that. Some people could look younger when they're 103, but he, you could really see the age. He looked very old, and different because he had that stroke that did something to him. I don't know why he had a stroke. I guess things started to affect him, and then he became more of a kind person. But I'm not sure exactly. But I'm trying to gain some insight from his life as to how I can help everyone else's life and mine. So funny. Okay. Well, I got to go up on the roof when it's not raining. Okay. I'm going to go. I'm going to go. I don't know why it looks like I have a goatee or something, because I don't. Okay, I'm just going to go. He died of natural causes when he was very old, and that's it. He passed away of natural causes. I'm going to go. Kirk Douglas, rest in peace. He was a kind person, apparently, to others, for being so big or whatever it is that he went through. Okay. Check out the other video I have on it. Okay. Not really supposed to be doing these videos. I don't know why. That's another thing. I think maybe I pushed that stuff too much, even though, how far did it get? Was I Kirk Douglas, king of the whole mother humping world? King of the whole mother humping world. No. not at all. But I guess I can say I did this and that. It's kind of cool. To others, it looks that way. But to me, here's what it feels like here. Where are my children? Where are my children? Where's mother of my children? Why do they even play drums? What would the point? What joy would I get out of doing anything that much? Besides, some of that stuff's okay, like the acting and the stuff like that here and there. But I mean, come on. That comes from the close relationships you have in your life who allow you to feel good in those certain ways from the things that you enjoy, who made you who you are, from your parents and or the people who raised you. So without them, you wouldn't really be able to enjoy that in the same way, unless they were, you know, they kind of make you who you are. Those are the people, the relationships you have in your life make you who you are. And okay, so you should stand up for your close love, your loved ones, the people in your life, your loved ones, the people who you have it, who are you're with in your life. But everybody has, problems like, and I'm pretty happy with where I am in life. It may be difficult, it may be really difficult, but it's happy sometimes, okay sometimes, pretty good. This and it's all right. I've taken a few days off. First thing I did was like the ups and downs were so intense. And I wasn't allowed to say anything about it. First thing I did was just start working at movies and videos, any of that stuff that I can do, anything that made me feel directly happy, wasn't horrible or difficult or just big and like having to do these big things and keep quiet about it. I was putting a lot of like causing a lot of pressure that I couldn't say anything about until I would just lose it. There's only so much I could take, have some like outburst or something where I said something that was just not the right thing, and I could only hang in there so much. I was doing it, but I think it was for a good cause. It's helping me get back with my family members better, closer to them and stuff. And I'm still hanging in there, but I needed some days off. Maybe I can go help my parents again on something. I don't like doing the hard labor myself. I don't like doing the physical hard work myself that much. Some of it's okay, but not a huge amount. Okay. Yeah. I was out there every day for a few weeks, and it's not anything I ever planned on, but it was okay. It felt all right. It was not anything I ever planned on. It just, I had to try to enjoy anything that was appropriate to enjoy, not something that I wanted to enjoy. And I thought in my mind or felt that those are the things I enjoy, like the way Kirk Douglas wanted to be a big famous actor. And he knew that he wanted to do it, he said, since he was however old in high school or whatever. Since he was however old, maybe a smaller child. And it's like, I like that stuff and I want to do that stuff, but instead I had to be kind to my parents, and it was pretty intense. It was pretty difficult. Some of it was okay, but it was like a lot of keeping my mouth shut and not being able to say anything. And it's been really not the most ideal. It's been not the most happy, ideal, great, feeling good. It's been good, but it has not been the most happy. One time it wasn't good, a little bit of it, but it's been not the most carefree feeling for about 2 years. It has not been the most carefree feeling for a year and a half or so, year or two. But here and there, it's really good and fun. And the video was good. Hey, Medina Ray. Oh yeah, the remaining, like, since the '90s, he was not looking like the most in his prime good looking person in the world. He was not the since the '90s, he had to suffer through that. So if you said that he was hitting on women, I'm not sure. I haven't looked into that as much. I wouldn't want to say, but I think maybe that may be public information, but it may not be. I'm afraid to comment on it. But so it made me feel happy that since the '90s, he had to have difficulty in his life and learn how to be a little different and give a lot of his money away to cause to being good, to being closer to family, the people he had who he could be close to, that he still had, who he still had, maybe, which, he was very close to his son. He had a wife of 65 years. I don't know if that was his real soulmate or not. Maybe it was. He was very close to her. I don't know. I don't know if any of this is true or not. I'm trying to find meaning as to how he lived his life. But I felt a lot happier about my life because I wasn't the hugest superstar in the world, like, unless being almost B, like a B movie level kind of famous person, or that wasn't really, or kind of maybe like being a B movie level famous person was kind of like pretty big, and maybe I had to step back from that. Maybe I had to step back from that and never get to be anywhere near what Kirk Douglas did, who had like, he was one of the, and then before I had to step back and make sure my family were okay, and be kind to them all, and all of them. And so that's what I had to do. And yo, man. Oh, man. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. I write to him every day. See if I wrote to him this morning already. I'm sure I probably wrote to them. You want to see what I wrote to him? Must have wrote to him already this morning. Sometimes I spend all day trying to contact him in between working. In between, I had to do a lot of work on this house. That was the main thing. And then just a few hours a day towards trying to contact him and be a good father and worry and try to make sure they're okay. That put a lot of stress on me. That really did put a lot of stress on me. I don't know why. They want me to talk to a psychologist or psychiatrist, but it costs money. And it's a lot of pressure sometimes. But it's been a little better talking to my parents. But the past few days, I haven't had to work with my parents. And it felt better. But then yesterday, it's up and down. I don't know. But I know that it appears from Kirk Douglas's life, he was on top of the world, most in his prime, good-looking guy, really, as far as you can achieve, he got there, and then he had to have those physical things happen to him and spend a long time, with other difficulty, but he got to be 1,000 times whatever I was or am, whatever I was or am at my best. But now, look at this house. It's all alone. There's only two cats in here. I've been alone in the woods for 3 years with my children taken away from me. And the mother of my children, who I love a lot, taken away from me. I write to her and write to her and write to her. Hundreds of emails a week, or every few weeks, hundreds of emails. But every day I write to her, pretty much. I was used to having her to talk to and tell everything to and tell the truth to. We didn't, we could look at each other's phones. We didn't cheat on each other for 10, 11 years. We trusted each other. We were like equals. We're supposed to be like Siamese twins. And I'd be Siamese twins with her now. Real Siamese twins. But I think that's a little creepy. The real ones. I just wanted to be that close. She wanted to be Siamese, to be with my close loved ones after I tried to be really cool and big at stuff. For so long, and didn't get anywhere near Kirk Douglas. He got there in his 20s. He got there. The main thing is being with family. Family is way more important than any of that. Everyone's been saying that, but I'm afraid to lose what I have with those people who I love the most. I'm hanging in there. It's this huge thing I've been trying to do to get all of them. I felt like a jerk and got like really in good shape when I was younger and wanted to be famous and made a whole big, but like, I think maybe that was a problem or not, but it doesn't matter. She wasn't a jerk about being famous. I think she was good about doing that. I was the emotional support. I believed in her, and she worked really hard. At doing videos and kept consistent with it. It was after a year of doing videos all the time and being a good mother, she was only making 10 cents a month at the videos. And one time it went up to $1 a month. And we were so happy. Yes, you're making money at it, $1 a month. And she was going to quit a few times. And I said, no, you can't quit. You got to. But anyway, she just kept working on it. It was her work ethic that did it. And she had been at it since she was 14. To do it, I can help her. I can do all the work for the movies and stuff, and have her get to do the creative ideas instead of me doing my own movies that I think are so cool. Which she didn't like it when I did my own cool stuff as much, but she liked some of it. And anyway, she did that all on her own. She was a mother to my children. She raised my children, and she made a big YouTube page. For today, it's like a pretty big celebrity, pretty big celebrity. Yeah, today she's like a kind of big celebrity. So was my son, or is my son, and my other son. They're both the same, about to me. The baby. Um, they've got. They may get up to. They'll probably get billions of views. They'll probably get billions of views. Um, I can help them get there if we're together. That's not billions of dollars. That's not like Donald Trump or something. That's just views. And she has, a lot of views. And she worked at movies and all that stuff, and raised a family. Raised the kids on her own. And hey, I can be there 24. I can be there all the time doing all that stuff for them, like I was before, every day, making sure they're okay, doing this and that. I can do that now, and could keep doing it then. Um, um, and she did, and anyway, so she got there, and she did pretty good. She's like a success story. She's like a modern day success story. And but she sinned and did things too that were kind of wrong. And she's not necessarily she's not like Jesus, who had no sin. And she doesn't. I don't know if she even believes in that. But Kirk Douglas, I think she believes in Jesus and God. I don't. She believes in stuff like that. But Kirk Douglas and me are different. But it's the same. But it's like it's the same as anyone out there. They have these things they have to go through and figure out what's the right thing to do in life, or what's the right thing to do. And I think I'm supposed to keep working at that from April to December. That it felt horrible. It felt horrible. The whole fucking thing. Oh, sorry. Sorry. I'm really sorry. It was okay. There was 1 month. There's a little more than a month that felt okay last year. But I'm not supposed to say it, and I'm probably saying something wrong. The only thing that made me happy was sometime in early April, she said, "We're moving to Virginia again." I had been depressed for about a year, could barely go on living or doing much of anything. And I had enough money, and I kept working on videos. I was making some money on videos. I worked on my house, increased the value of my house so I have more money if I need to get it somehow. And I didn't work that hard because I was just so depressed. And because I had put other things as a priority instead of but and finally she said, "We're moving to Virginia again." I got really happy. And that was like in May or April. That was in April. And I started working on that. Well, I didn't immediately start. I wasn't that happy, but I had motivation to work. And so I started by fixing the roof on the other thing. I got one of these whole rooms finally done and in order. I kept working as much as I could. I started working a lot on it. Al kind of moved out and kept having to work and work and work. And there were 2 times where I worked so much for a couple months in a whole day. And then I thought I was going to die of a physical thing instead of just the depression I went through. And then it's like it turned into feeling so bad from the aloneness and having to work so hard to do what was right and pay for things or make some sort of money, even if it was long-term money in this home. And then I thought I was going to die from that one thing. There were two things that 2 times I thought I was going to die. At least 2 times, and I thought I was going to die from some physical thing. I went to a doctor. They said there's nothing wrong with me. And I guess it was stress related, giving me pains or something. I hope to God. I think that's what it is. That's what it was. He said he couldn't find anything wrong with me. Then another time, some other thing started bothering me, and I think that was from stress. Tons of stress from having to work and be alone, and her just like I don't know. And then I got to stop working because it hurt my health so much. I thought I was going to die, and it lasted. I was pretty scared for a few weeks, and I finally got back to health by stopping to work. I just had to stop working because it was hurting me too much. Then I felt okay for I felt okay for a week and a half. Had no problems at all. Got very healthy because I had to starve myself with great difficulty. Couldn't even have caffeine. Just had to deprive myself, which made me feel worse and more stressed. But I thought it was going to make me better from the physical thing that was hurting me. And then it was really difficult. And then I got better and I felt better. And then I had about a week and a half. And then I was like, I really got to get to work. Really got to get to work. And so I worked with my parents again for a few weeks this January. And then now I took a few days off. Some of it was okay. And some this was okay. Making these videos was okay. And there's pressure on me to not do the videos anymore and stuff, and I'm still trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do, but I like doing the videos. And Kirk Douglas, I guess, had to figure out things. He embraced religion and being more kind to others later in life, and spent the rest, spent some effort on being kind to others, or that was his whole thing. That was his whole thing he had to learn. So I'm going to go. And I was happy thinking about that. Even though he was the biggest celebrity in the world or whatever, he was happy, I guess, in some ways, but then he was kind to others. He realized he had to be kind to others. And I realized I've been a lot more kind to those others along the way, but I almost got out of hand because it just, so, I don't know, haircut. And it was hard going out there. I'd go out there in the town and my dad, it's I was working for my dad and my mom, and I ended up having to cut my hair short because I think I had the wrong idea out there about the military and stuff like that. And then I had to cut my hair really short, like a military haircut. And it was hard going out there, kind of up and down, but it was easy sometimes. And sometimes it was enjoyable. Sometimes I was this very, confident, good looking, just like a fairly like a very confident person, felt happy and good the whole a lot of the day, almost like the whole day. And so it was all right, but I would love to just pay my bills on a meager little living of $800 a month, but I can't. So that's not really love, because my kids I have to, because I'm not just by myself with all my loved ones dead. It's just how it is. Al might be that way. His loved ones, his closest loved ones are dead. But guess what? Mine are still alive, and I have to make more money than that. So I have to work harder. I can't just, not work as hard, because I have to make sure my loved ones are okay. He already did that with his parents. Made sure they're okay for the last years of their life, like Kirk Douglas's last years of his life. And all right, no, there's a cat somewhere. I gotta let the cat in, or I think the cat's outside or downstairs or something. I heard the cat scratching or something. It's like figuring out what to do in life that's right. That's right. I know what I want to do. I want to be like Kirk Douglas and have my family. I want to be the #1 actor in the world if I can, and have my family. But guess what? I have made a very small amount of money at it, is what it's felt like. And I've had to work at other stuff to make money, but it's made a little more money, the movie stuff. I guess it's okay. I don't know. But Kirk Douglas passed away. Oh man. Okay. I think he was a good person. He tried his best to be good. The cat's somewhere trying to get in. Okay. I hope you have a good balance with what's good and bad and whatever it is in your life, that you're doing good to others. You're being kind to others. And to yourself, and doing the things while you're still alive. We're here on Earth while we're alive, and enjoying our lives and stuff. This is a water. This is a coffee. And this is some food. That was the water. I'm trying to be healthy instead of just having coffee to lose weight. Now I feel like I have to stretch. I used to never do that. I used to never stretch my neck like this. I was afraid it would make my neck look bad. Bad. So I never did it for 20 or 30 years. 30 years since I was a kid. Because I thought stretching it, when you pulled it up like that and then you went back down, I thought that would stretch the skin out, and then when you put your head back down, it would like be loose skin. And I'd always go like this and stuff. And even when I drank a drink, if you want the truth, I drink it to the side. Drink to the side, because I didn't want to drink it straight up and down, because I thought it would stretch my skin out and it'll look old. or older. And now I'm having to do this sometimes to stretch the skin, not the skin, but to stretch the muscles and stuff, or the all the other stuff that's in there. Ow, stretch it too much, and it doesn't make. I don't think it makes it look old at all. Gosh, I'm like determined. Like even after having to stretch that out, and then I think, you know, there are things like that that I have to get in balance. Maybe, yeah. Maybe they're as in balance as they can. Like my mom always had this skin right here very tight on her neck. There's a video of her in the night. Well, even in her 50s, she looked like a really good young, like she looked pretty young and very beautiful. She was the she was kind of like a beauty queen in some ways when she was growing up. She was a campus queen at her college. She didn't want to be, but they named her a campus queen because they thought she was so pretty walking around campus. Her pretty big school, and she was just doing work, just trying to work on things, and they named her campus queen because she looked so pretty. And she still has, she can have tighter skin on her neck sometimes and look very good at her age. And then my dad didn't care as much. He was like more of a manly guy and was like not into trying to look like some and he's still a manly man, but sometimes he even says, like the other day he joked, he's a manly man. He's pretty good. He's gonna live. I don't know how long he's gonna live. I hope he lives a long time. And I don't know how much more I can take of. I don't know if I can keep living if it would be 20 or 20 something years of being an emotional support for them more. I think maybe my little sister may have to do that more for them. Unless maybe I can. I don't know. I'm going to give it my all, but it has been putting a huge, it's sometimes okay. I think with my family and kids back, then I can really do that more. But I think I have to go without that and just really put a lot of effort into it until my family and kids get back. Okay. Okay. But that's what I'm gonna go. So Kirk Douglas, yeah, he passed away. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go. Bye. Bye. Hey. Okay, bye. I gotta go. Okay, bye. I'll look at these comments later. You know what I'm afraid to say aloud? I'll just say it. I think I push that stuff too much. I'm like not supposed to do it as much. Feels like it's gonna kill me or something. I don't think it's that bad to say. Yeah, I can't even say it. Can't even do the YouTube things as much. I can't say click like and on something in so many words. I can't tell you to click like on something. Feels like it's like hurting me. I'm gonna go. Bye. Bye.